Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee has rocketed from nowhere into the lead in Iowa, and he's headed there later today. Governor, good morning to you. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us this morning.
Well, thank you, Meredith. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's talk about this Christmas ad because it comes after you have taken some hits from the critics. First, for calling yourself a Christian leader, then for questioning whether Mormons believe that Christ and the devil were brothers, something you did apologize for. Now in this ad, you say people should be celebrating the birth of Christ, while the shape of a cross appears to take shape behind you. And that has led some to say that this is another overt religious appeal to voters. What do you say about this ad and about those criticisms?
That floating cross is a bookshelf, Meredith. We were all amused, the production crew, I think probably more than anyone, who put the spot together. And
so you didn't see that image when you put the spot together, that it might be confused?
Not. I'd love for you to interview the crew. They would find this incredibly amusing. People are looking for anything in the world. It's almost like it's so politically incorrect to say Merry Christmas anymore. And I find this pretty amazing. I mean, somebody's probably going to figure out that as I was blinking my eyes, I was saying some special code, Morse code, and telling people a subliminal message. I mean, it's just beyond ridiculous. You can't even say Merry Christmas without people getting all sensitive about it.
You're sounding like you're a little fed up with some of the criticisms that have been leveled your way.
I'm amused by it. It's not fed up. I'm just amused. I totally am amazed that people are so sensitive these days. I mean, for example, I bet you and even David Gregory are going to get off next Tuesday because it's Christmas. We celebrate Christmas. In the harshness of this political campaign, with attack ads and negative stuff coming at us every day, we decided we wanted to do something that showed, hey folks, life isn't all about politics. Life is also about our family and friends. We thought the ad would maybe try to change the tone of the political campaign. Instead, people try to look at something sinister behind the spot, and it's just beyond incredible to me.
I don't know if sinister is the right word, Governor, if they're saying that the ad is an overt religious appeal. That's different than sinister.
Well, if it's overt religious, I'm not sure even how that plays into it. It is Christmas. That's what we do on December the 25th. Even government office is shut down that day. Couldn't we shut down the harsh rhetoric of politics for just a few days? And that's what we were trying to say. I've been attacked every day. Mitt Romney's out there saying all these clemencies. What he doesn't tell you is, no, he never did one, but he only looked at 100 cases. I looked at 8,700 cases. One of them that he denied.
Well, he talks, just so that people understand what you're talking about, he says that you granted over 1,000 pardons and clemencies while you were governor, which was twice what your predecessors did.
Not one of them was a person walking out of prison who had been a murderer. Here's one that he needs to talk about. He brags that he denied them all. One of them was a young kid who at age 13 shot a BB gun at another kid, didn't even break the skin, hit him in the arm. Later that kid worked his way through college, enrolled in the National Guard of Massachusetts, and went to the Iraqi War and became a decorated soldier. Came home and wanted to be a police officer but needed a pardon to do it. Mitt Romney refused. Now, I would say that the fact that I gave a kid who was 25 years old the opportunity to go to culinary school because when he was 19, he took a joyride as a passenger in a car, that pardon enabled him to go to culinary school. Otherwise, he couldn't have. You let the people of America to decide which person you'd rather have president, one who looked at his own political fortunes or one who actually tried to do the job and make decisions that were responsible for the people you're supposed to serve.
Mitt Romney has also called on you to apologize to the president for saying that his foreign policy reflects a, quote, arrogant bunker mentality. You refused to do that. You said you weren't criticizing President Bush. You were criticizing his policy. So what specific policy of the president's do you believe is arrogant?
Well, I think when we, first of all, don't define clearly the missions that we have. Secondly, when we then say that we're going to do it, and whether people don't come with us, then we accuse them of being with the enemy. But here's the real challenge we have. I believe the Powell-Schwarzkopf doctrine of engagement. First, delineate what the mission is and make it very clear what it is that our objective is going to be. Secondly, use overwhelming force, not underwhelming, overwhelming force to accomplish it. And third, once you commit those troops to battle, don't let the politicians interfere with the commanders on the battlefield, the ones who have the medals on their chests and the blood on their boots. Let them do their job and get the job finished.
Before I let you go, the National Review's Rich Lowry has said that, quote, it would represent an act of suicide by the party if Republicans nominated you because he says you're unprepared and undervetted. One thing to win in Iowa, but what makes you so convinced that you can win a national election?
You know, there's an interesting thing going on. The Wall Street to Washington axis, this corridor of power, is absolutely frantically against me. But out there in America, the reason that we're number one in the polls is because I'm the guy that doesn't have some offshore mailbox and bank account in the Caymans hiding my money. I'm the guy that worked my way up through it, and there are a whole lot of people in America that believe that the president ought to be a servant of the people and ought not to be elected to the ruling class.
So, Governor,
There's
why do you
resonance
think
in
they're
this
opposed
message
to
out
you?
there,
Why do you
Meredith.
think they're opposed to you, Governor?
Because they don't control me. I'm not one of theirs. I'm not one of those guys that just own my soul to the people on Wall Street. I'm not a wholly owned subsidiary of them. I don't live in the circles of power in Washington. I really do come right up from the people. And there's a sense in which all these years the evangelicals have been treated very kindly by the Republican Party. They wanted us to be a part of it. And then one day one of us actually runs and they say, oh my gosh, now they're serious. They don't want to just show up and vote. They actually would want to be a part of the discussion and really talk about issues that include hunger and poverty and things that ought to be really a concern to every American, Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative.
Do you think they're afraid that you would impose evangelical principles on people?
No, that's total nonsense, because I was a governor 10.5 years. I've got more record as an executive running a government than anybody running, so they've got plenty of things to look at. And I never did propose that we would impose our religion on somebody else. What I did do was improve children's health, education, the road system, but we didn't do it just for the people at the top. The tax policies and other things we did, it helped the people at the bottom so they might have a chance to live the American dream. For that, I apologize to no one.
Governor Mike Huckabee, I know you are a very, very busy man. I thank you for your time, and you know what? Merry Christmas, sir.
And Merry Christmas. I hope it doesn't get me in trouble, but Merry Christmas to you and to David. Have a great holiday.
Thank you, Governor. It is